You're welcome, Clemmy cried. Thank you, Silas said, smiling. You're welcome, Jasper and Juniper said. Defeated. Oh, Jasper, you're the best roommate we ever had, Clemmy exclaimed, hugging him. You're welcome, Jasper sighed. You live here with these two girls? Oh, yeah. Listen, Silas, I hope you don't mind sleeping on the couch. The couch? Silas scoffed. Is there any way to treat a guest? Do you mind if I sleep on this side of the bed? He pointed to Jasper's bed. Ten nas. Silas. Oh, I'm sorry, Silas, but I always sleep on this side, Jasper protested. Ever since I was a little kid, I slept on this side. Now, once in my whole life have I ever slept on that side. Well, it's just that I need to be as close to the bathroom as possible, Silas. Copy 9. The Gilded Lily. A Trilogy of Terrors and Triumphs. Asterisk, asterisk, Part 1. The Shower Curtain. The scent of burnt toast and desperation usually clung to the venerable walls of the Gilded Lily, a once grand Victorian house, now subdivided into a labyrinth of slightly too small flats. But on this particular Tuesday, an unfamiliar aroma wafted through flat 3B, that of freshly laundered polyester and simmering marital level tension. Inside, Penelope Penny Buttercup, a creature of boundless optimism and startlingly tangential logic, wrestled with a shower curtain. Her golden curls, usually a halo of sunshine, were slightly askew, and her brow was furrowed in concentration. Come and knock on our door. Come and knock on our door, she warbled off-key, a habit she'd picked up from a particularly catchy jingle. We've been waiting for you. Her roommate, Jasper Thislewick, a culinary student with a flair for the dramatic and a perpetual state of exasperation, emerged from his room, rubbing sleep from his eyes. He'd just endured a grueling night shift at the Gilded Spatula, a restaurant so exclusive its butter had a trust fund. Penny, love, what in the name of all that is soufflé? Is that infernal caterwauling? Oh, Jasper. Hi, honeys, I'm home, Penny chirped, beaming. I didn't hear you knock first, though. Jasper blinked. Knock? Penny, I times lifetimes here, and besides... Hi, honeys. I'm home is usually times my times line, if I recall correctly, after an arduous day of battling bechamel. Yes, but we might not have been decent, she declared with an air of profound wisdom. Decent? Jasper looked around the slightly chaotic living room, then back at Penny, who was attempting to pin the shower curtain to the rod with a clothes peg. Penny, you're wearing a sensible floral apron over a full tracksuit. I think decent is the least of our concerns. It's all right, she assured him, waving a dismissive hand. I looked first to make sure. Jasper sighed, a sound worn smooth by years of living with Penny. Well, that's okay then. Here, as long as you're here, why don't you help me put up the new shower curtains? Jasper's eyes widened. Wait, when did you take up cooking? I haven't, Penny admitted cheerfully. I've got some underwear drying. Jasper stared. Underwear? In the oven? They dry ever so quickly, Penny explained, oblivious to the horror on his face. Now, just hand me the new curtain, and then you can go, okay? No, Penny, Jasper said, resignation settling upon him like a heavy duvet. I'll help. I'll get it. He walked into the bathroom, where the new curtain lay in a crumpled heap. Oh, for the love of all that is sanitary, Penny. You haven't even unfolded it yet. Of course not. You've got to unfold it first, silly. She giggled, as if this were a groundbreaking revelation. How? Just then, a sharp, insistent rapping echoed from the front door. Oh, hi, Professor Finch, Penny exclaimed, peeking out. It's nice to see you. Professor Alistair Finch, their landlord, was a man of meticulous habits and an imagination that rivaled a pulp fiction writer's. He fancied himself a detective, a guardian of moral rectitude in the otherwise bohemian enclave of the Gilded Lily. He wore a tweed jacket even indoors, and his spectacles perched precariously on the end of his nose, giving him the air of a perpetually startled owl. Don't get your hopes up, Miss Buttercup, he announced, stepping inside with a dramatic flourish. This is not a social call. Today, I'm wearing my landlord hat. He tapped his head, as if indicating a literal, invisible hat, and I want to see the man of the house. Unless he's painting his toenails. Jasper is in the bathroom, Penny replied innocently. Would you excuse me? Surely, Professor Finch declared. His eyes narrowed suspiciously. He'd heard tales of the young chef's unorthodox living arrangements and his inclinations, as he delicately put it. Inside the bathroom, Jasper, exasperated, muttered, Okay, Penny, I'll get in the tub with you, then we can get it on. Penny giggled. If you ask me, I'll show you what to do. This isn't exactly the first time I've ever done this. Maybe so, Jasper retorted, wrestling with a particularly stubborn hook. But girls are better at this than boys, apparently. Come on, Jasper, Penny urged. A little less talk and a little more action, okay? Okay, you do your part. I'll do mine. Suddenly, the bathroom door burst open. Professor Finch stood there, eyes wide, spectacles practically vibrating on his nose. Professor Finch? Penny gasped. Professor Finch, what are you doing? Never mind what I'm doing, he thundered, pointing a trembling finger at them. What are they doing? Bah, nothing. Penny insisted, looking genuinely bewildered. Oh, don't give me that, Professor Finch scoffed. I heard, Rub-a-dub-dub come hop in my tub. I heard all times of it. Jasper, now fully clothed, stepped out of the tub. A new shower curtain perfectly hung behind him. You heard all of what? What is going on in here? He demanded. Professor Finch stared at Jasper, then at Penny, then back at Jasper. How'd you get your clothes on so fast? What? Don't act so innocent. I know what's what. But how'd you get your clothes on so fast? Excuse me, what is he talking about? Penny whispered to Jasper. Rub-a-dub-dub, come hop in my tub, Professor Finch repeated, a triumphant glint in his eye. What are you talking about? Jasper shot back. Penny, are you going to help me or not? Ha ha, Professor Finch exclaimed, pointing again. How'd you get your clothes on so fast? What? Another innocent. I know what you were doing. Putting up a shower curtain? Jasper asked, gesturing to the freshly installed curtain. Professor Finch's jaw dropped. That's right. You have a shower curtain? Of course, Penny chimed in. What do you think we were doing? Professor Finch's face crumpled. Well, it sounded like you were. He trailed off, mortified. Miss Buttercup, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Why? What'd he do? Penny asked, genuinely confused. Nothing. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm so ashamed. Professor Finch mumbled, turning beet red. Wait a second, Professor Finch. Jasper interjected. What did you come up here for anyway? I can't remember, he wailed, clutching his head. Boy, I have never seen anyone so ashamed of doing nothing. He shuffled out, muttering to himself. Come on, Jasper said to Penny. I'll be right with you. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed from the bathroom. Penny? Penny? What happened? You okay? What happened? Jasper rushed back in to find Penny sprawled on the bathroom floor, a dazed expression on her face. Oh, I slipped in the tub and I banged my head, she mumbled. Oh, Penny, I told you never to wear your boots in the bathtub, Jasper exclaimed, rushing to her side. He helped her to the sofa. What's the matter? You're sticking a shower curtain. Come here. Just sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Are you all right? I'm okay, Penny said, blinking slowly. I'll decide how okay you are, Jasper declared, ever the self-appointed medic. 5, Penny announced confidently. 2 in a V and 3 folded down. Jasper sighed in relief. It's okay. She's normal. Normal, except I just feel that. He gently touched her head. Oh my goodness. You have got a goose egg. I know, Penny agreed. Penny, look, you better go right to bed and rest. It's only 8 o'clock. It's too early to go to bed. Well, if it'll make you feel any better, we'll all go to bed early, Jasper offered. Yeah, I'll go to bed with you, Penny said enthusiastically. What? No, I mean at the same time, Jasper clarified quickly, his face flushing. Suddenly, Beatrice Bear Hawthorne, their other roommate, a pragmatic and slightly cynical florist, burst in.